Well, good morning. It's Tuesday, I think the 28th of April. Out in the woods real early. So yeah, sorry about the big gap between the videos. Been up to some stuff. So, an update on the ham radio stuff. So when I thought the ham radio was toast and I thought there was some major problem with it, I hadn't factored into the fact where it is. And RF interference is a big thing. Enough of it can make your radio not receive, as you would know if you walked around your house with an ordinary FM radio and put it next to your microwave. You can't hear anything over the RF interference, and mine was right in front of my fridge freezer, which is a huge chunk of RF interference. So that's why it didn't work. So I moved it, and then I was able to tune it in and get it working. But also there are some idiosyncrasies with the radio that I don't really warn you about. First off, being the VFO, or the variable frequency oscillator, which is your tuning dial, that takes a little while to warm up because it's a valve radio, which is kind of weird. So once you put that on and you put the heaters on and it settles down, you get a proper reading, so you can actually tune in on some signals. And the tuning's still a little bit fuzzy, but you can make out stuff. So yeah, and there's a startup sequence where things need to be in the right place. And you always have to tune up this radio to the antenna that you're using. So yeah, that's a thing. So you have got a certain amount of automatic antenna tunage depending on what you're trying to achieve. There's a lot of voodoo inside. So yeah, so that's a cool thing. Okay, so we're on the bridge. I haven't seen anybody. I can start really looking like I'm talking to myself. So yeah. And then I remembered that Rembimon had very kindly sent me a link to the Hack Green online SDR. So there's an online usable software-defined radio with an antenna array at Hack Green, and they've tuned up all those antennas so you can switch between them and listen in on all sorts of useful stuff, including yourself if you're an amateur radio operator, so you can do a little check to see whether you're actually transmitting out. So yesterday, after fiddling with all the knobs and dials, I sent out a, well, not even a Morse signal, a series of Morse beeps for the first 5 prime numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, which is like how you communicate with aliens, to imply that you understood a bit about maths. So I sent that a couple of times, listened in on Hack Green, and there it was coming through. So I know I can transmit at least 40 miles or 50 kilometers. So that's a cool thing. So I was very pleased to do that. So yeah, so the radio works that much. The microphone looks like a lost cause, the one that I got with the radio, which is not too much of a problem. I ordered a replacement. And that should be arriving at some point soon. So yeah. So that's a done thing. So my radio transmits, it's on a new desk, separate from my computer equipment to try and cut down on the RF, and with a laptop next to it, all my radio type stuff and my soldering iron and all that, joining it on the bench. I could use a soldering iron bench. So yeah, so I did try and fix the microphone, but couldn't get it to respond. I did find a good startup sequence, because you have to do basically a pre-flight check on these radios. But I guess it would be the sort of thing that you get used to in time. I've just got to basically boil it down all the counters and everything to the right place. But yeah, I'm really glad I got a Morse key, because that meant I could actually transmit. So given that I know that it transmits, and given that I know the microphone doesn't help or do anything, there we go. So yeah. So at 40 meters I'm able to send a Morse signal at least as far as Hat Green. That depends on during the day. During the day 40 meters is clearer. At night it's not as usable, and 80 meters becomes easier, purely down to atmospheric conditions. So the next task is to tune up the antenna to 80 meters and see if I can get a signal out in the evening. But some signal is better than no signal, and I am only using what's known as an N-fed wire antenna, literally going from out the back of my house, from my bedroom window, all the way down to the back of the garden. It's about 10 meters. So 10 meters of antenna is a very short antenna in the big scheme of things. So my next trick is to sort out some kind of long wire antenna, but also a better antenna tuner. So yeah, there's that. And I'm slowly learning my way around the radio, and I'll be relearning an awful lot of stuff, as well as printing out a pre-flight check plan and a little Morse code card, you know, just so I got it to hand, laminated on the top of the Yaesu, along with a little folder of useful bits and bobs. So yeah, so the radio is up and running. You know, it's a hell of a beast. And there's another Yaesu FT101 in Culture hands in Australia, and there's another one in the UK. And hopefully at some point other people will join in, at least on the software defined radio end. So yeah, so I'm very much hoping to sort out some other antennas in the future, and if I can get like a full-on ATU, I can tune any random piece of wire to the radio. Let me get around this way. So yeah, so that's a cool thing. So that's up and running ish. Still got a few more bits, still got to find hopefully a Yaesu ATU to wire it all in. I was bidding on one last night, just missed it, but it was an automated bid. Somebody had clearly bid about 150 quid for it, and I just couldn't match it. But there are a couple about out there. So yeah, there's another one ending today, in fact, about lunchtime. So I'll be trying to get that. It'd be nice to have, like, because the design of the box is essentially very similar to the FT101. It was designed to be sold alongside it, and it's an antenna tuner and good SWA meter and power meter, so you can tell how much power you're pushing out. And that'd be cool. It'd be cool to get something like that. So yeah, we will find out. So yeah, so I think that's progress of a kind. Got one transmission signal. Now I need to find out and slowly improve on all the bits and pieces. Get all sorts of other stuff sorted out as well. In other news, we tried Rembimon tried one of those cheap SDR radios that claims to pick up HF, but his one doesn't. So yeah, so we were hoping to get like a 20 or 30 quid SDR radio up and running for you guys, and point you at a link for one, but we haven't got one as yet. So yeah, so still waiting for my microphone to turn up. I'm working on a cheap CW transceiver, seeing if I can find a good power one that will push up decent wattage. So yeah, and last night I did try and transmit again, but it didn't want to play. So, but it seems to be the best thing you can do with a Yaesu FT101 is switch it on for a couple of minutes, switch on the heaters to heat up the vacuum tubes for a couple of minutes, and then leave it for another minute or so and it sort of settles down. So yeah, but according to Foxtrot Tango, which is the international resource for that radio, there's a theory that these things could survive an EMP. So, you know, having and learning all about an EMP-proof radio. I don't know who you go to if it turns out not to be, because there is at least one integrated circuit on there, and one chip in the amplifier stage. But yeah, so there may need to be all sorts of repair-y type stuff going on it still. There could be all sorts of things wrong with it, but it does at least transmit something, and that's why I want to get hold of the antenna tuner, because at least I would know how much power is being pushed out, and maybe check a few other software-defined radios elsewhere in the country to see if I'm at least reaching out to them, because that's about as far as I can reach, I think, unless I switch to 80 meters and then have a look, find a quiet band on 80 and see if I can send something out to, say, Europe, and see how far that's going. But yeah, so I also need to know how much power I'm transmitting, and I can't really do that with the skinny SWA meter that I've got at the moment. So yeah, that and the antenna isn't even really swa'd in. But yeah, but it's all largely a huge chunk of voodoo. So that's your update. I'm hoping to include a startup sequence video for the FT101 at some point today. I'll let you know how that gets on. And yeah, it could be a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, it is an interesting thing. I'm very glad I got a Morse key with that radio. So yeah, and I'm hoping to again start the culture up. Sorry about the wait. If you go over to the culture, there are some Fallout 4 videos. I'm going to be scrapping those and starting again with Fallout 4 now that I've got a webcam. And yeah, I just went off for an explore. In the Fallout 4 world, and I still haven't played Nuka World, so I might be doing a bit of that today. And yeah, now that my character's tooled up, I've found the X01 power armor and the Gauss rifle. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of bits and bobs to do today. I'm waiting for the postman. If I get my microphone, I'll be able to test that. And yeah, that's a lot of what ham radio is. There's a lot of testing going on. Rembimon's also got one, but it's got a fault somewhere. And the condition of Harlequin's FT101 in Australia is unknown as well. But he at least lives right near to someone that knows all about them. So yeah. So that's your update. The amateur radio stuff is improving. I'm going to try and put together the distilled version of the foundation course at least, you know, so that you could at least gain some understanding. But yeah, that's about it. I think we're going to leave it there. I'll try and get out again tomorrow morning and get this all restarted. But yeah, like everybody, I've been a bit depressed lately. Whew. And I'm very out of shape. Okay, so thanks for watching and do take care. Where am I going? Who's coming with me? And never get the order messed up. See you soon.